Jute is believed to have been cultivated in India as early as 800 BC. It is a tropical fiber plant and grows well in the delta region of the Ganga Brahmaputra Valley. India is the second largest producer of jute after Bangladesh. It is also known as the brown paper bag of wholesale trade due to the widespread use of jute fabric for wrapping bales of cotton and wool and rice, wheat, sugar, pulses and cement in sacks. It is also used for the manufacture of carpets, rugs, upholstery, ropes and strings. The jute plant grows to a height of 2 to 4 meters. It has a spear-like appearance, round 1-inch stems. It has some branches at the top. The fiber, which is soft and strong, is obtained from the inner bark of the stem. Children, jute is also known as the golden fiber of India since its products are an important foreign exchange earner. There are two varieties of jute which are grown in India. One is called the white jute, which is mainly grown in deltas and lowlands, and the other is called the toss jute, which cannot withstand flood. Hence, it is grown only on uplands. It has branches only on top, and the fiber in the inner bark is soft, long, and strong. Now, like any other plant, jute also has certain geographical requirements, and if these conditions are met, the plant thrives well. So, the soil which is considered best is light sandy or clay loam. It can, since jute rapidly exhausts the fertility of the soil, it is necessary that the soil is replenished annually by the silt-laden flood water of the rivers. So this means that because jute uses up the nutrients of the soil, so every year when the rivers flood, they bring in a lot of fertile alluvium with them, which replenishes the soil again. So, jute also grows in the floodplains and the river deltas, which are rich in alluvial soil. Now, temperature requirements. It requires a temperature ranging between 24 to 35 degrees centigrade, a high relative humidity ranging between 80 to 90%. It requires heavy rainfall of 170 to 200 centimeters. Constant rainfall, untimely rainfall, as well as prolonged drought conditions are injurious to the plant. Large quantity of water is needed not only to grow the crop but also for processing the crop after harvesting, about which we'll be studying. Now the method of cultivation. So jute is grown in areas which are heavily populated, so labor is readily available. So sowing generally is done in February on the lowlands and in March and May on upland. Mostly seeds are either broadcast. I hope you remember what is broadcasting method. This method is done in which the seeds are scattered all over the field after plowing it, and it is done just before the onset of monsoon. The second method is the drilling method. So in this, the seeds are sown in furrows with the help of a drill normally made with a bamboo or with the help of machines. Then dibbling method. A dibble is an implement for making holes in the ground for seeds or plants to grow. So the dibbling method refers to sowing of seeds at regular intervals in the furrows, as you can see in the picture. So you can see the thread method of drilling is also being followed over here. Alright, at regular intervals, the seeds are being sown. Weeding is very important in the early stages of growth. Now, weeds are actually unwanted plants, which grow in the field. So, from time to time, weeding is very essential in order to remove the unwanted plants because jute uses up a lot of nutrients from the soil. So, the jute plant is ready for harvest in about 4 to 6 months when flowers begin to appear. The plants are cut close to the ground or uprooted if the ground is flooded. So, making the jute available from the fields to the mills is a labor intensive job and it requires a large workforce. Now the harvested plants, they are left for 2 to 3 days as you can see in the picture for the leaves to dry up and shed. Then they are tied into bundles of 20 centimeters to 25 centimeters diameter. After the harvesting is done, so as I had already told all of you, the plants are tied into bundles and these bundles are then submerged into water for retting and there they are left for 2 to 3 weeks. So after that, after a few days, the stalks are checked. If the fibers slip out easily when the stalk is pressed between the finger and the thumb, the retting process is considered complete. Now children, you must know what actually is retting. Retting is a microbiological process which loosens the bark and facilitates removal of fiber from the stalk. So a very close watch has to be kept and as soon as it is easy to separate the fiber from the stalk, retting is carried out. High temperature quickens the process. Now after retting is complete, the bark is peeled from the plant and the fiber is removed. Now what is done is that the fiber after this process, stripping, rinsing, washing and cleaning is done. So the fibers are washed in clean water and then it is dried in the sun and pressed into bales. So all this has to be done by hand. So a lot of labor force is required and plenty of water supply also is required. Now after the fibers are dried, they are made into bundles, sorted out according to the quality and pressed into bales of 180 kgs and shipped to the manufacturers. Now the yield of jute can be increased by the use of improved seeds, by application of fertilizers and better plant protection measures. Problems of jute cultivation. First is lack of irrigation facilities. Now all of us know that the Indian monsoons are very unpredictable in nature. So as a result of this, sometimes the monsoons are bring lot of rainfall, sometimes they bring less rainfall, sometimes they come on time, sometimes they get delayed. So keeping this in mind, irrigation is important. So in those years when the monsoons fail, then because of the lack of irrigation facilities, the yield also comes down. The second is delay in sanctioning of loans. So children, uh, because lot of laborers have to be employed, as I had already explained it to you, for the processing, for harvesting, a large labor force is required. So the farmer needs to invest in order to pay off to the laborers that he is employing. Moreover, to purchase fertilizers or to have irrigation facilities also. So, the farmer may go to the bank to get some loan, but sometimes there is delay in sanctioning loans. So as a result of this, the farmer suffers. Now due to these two above problems, many of the farmers have stopped cultivating jute in their farms and they have started growing other crops like wheat and vegetables. Then we have the uses of Jute. So jute is used for a variety of articles like gunny bags, ropes, upholstery strings, carpets, rugs, decoration pieces. You must have seen the jute bags also in the market, coasters, areas of production in India. So, children, India suffered a great setback in production of jute as a result of partition of the country in 1947. So, you must have studied about it that East Bengal went over to Pakistan. So, this part, so 75% of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh, which was at the time of independence. It was East Pakistan at that time. So the only thing was that fortunately only the production of raw jute suffered as most of the jute mills remained in India. Now the important states are West Bengal, which is the leading producer, followed by Bihar, Assam and Odisha. So in West Bengal, the favorable conditions are hot and humid climate, alluvial loamy soil. So every year when the river Ganga, when it floods, it brings in a lot of fertile silt along with it. So that has also greatly helped. Then there is cheap, abundant labor. So these are the favorable conditions for the cultivation of jute in West Bengal. Now children, Mesta is a substitute for jute. It has coarser fiber and is inferior to jute in quality and strength. It can be used to make coarser sacks and bags. Since it can tolerate drier conditions, it can also be grown in areas which are unsuitable for the cultivation of jute. So, Mesta is cultivated mainly in Bihar, Assam, Odisha. Now, other natural fibers are sisal, hemp, and flax. Now, children, it is just for your knowledge sake. This is a sisal plant and it is a very, very useful plant. And as I had told you, it's a substitute to jute. And you can see the picture of the ropes being made with the help of sisal. Then the next substitute for jute is hemp. Now, hemp has a variety of uses. It has a number of industrial uses. But just for your knowledge sake, this is a picture of hemp fiber. And hemp has a number of uses for making fibers, for making medicines, etc. Another substitute of jute is the flax plant. So, flax fiber is also in great demand, especially in the European countries.